Good morning, I'm Nivareti Manu, and this is your morning news fix for Friday, 14th of March. In this update, Vladimir Putin has signalled support for a 30-day ceasefire with Ukraine. The Kremlin is set to meet with officials from Washington to discuss the US plan for ending the hostilities. Ukraine agreed to the plan on Wednesday. The Russian president says the ceasefire should lead to enduring peace and remove the root causes of the crisis. He's expressed concerns the US is leading this instead of Ukraine, as translated by the BBC.
We are absolutely convinced that the Ukrainian side should have asked Americans for this persistently.
The welcome mat is continuing to be rolled out to investors from around the world. The second day of the government's Infrastructure Investment Summit takes place in Auckland today, with more than 100 entities in attendance. Newstalk ZB political editor Jason Walls says Christopher Luxon and his ministers did their best to persuade them to make sure their capital comes here.
Everywhere from courthouses to schools to roads, it was all up for sale essentially. So the government is looking to partner with these big multinational corporations or these pension funds to find a home in New Zealand.
Otago has come out on top again as having the leading growing economy, with others in the south following close behind. ASB's Regional Economic Scoreboard puts Otago, Canterbury, Tasman and Southland in the top 4 spots based on their year-on-year growth. Chief Economist Nick Tuffley says it's great to see the momentum create back-to-back victories over the last 2 quarters. He says the region's done a great job attracting Australian visitors, and the strong tourism recovery has driven retail spending and employment. A positive outlook for South Dunedin as ways to address serious flooding are identified. The Dunedin City and Otago Regional Councils have released 2 reports analysing how to respond to risks facing the low-lying area. The 7 options include keeping the land dry, allowing space for water or letting water into the land. The costs range from $2 billion to $7 billion over the next 75 years. Program Manager Jonathan Rose says there's opportunity to make the area safer.
In many of those futures, South Dunedin can have better housing, better infrastructure, more green space, more parks, more wetlands, lower flood risks.
An astrologist is encouraging people not to miss tonight's lunar eclipse. The blood moon is expected to rise at 7:38 p.m. and people are being told to secure a clear view to the east before things return to normal after 9:30. Stardome astrologist Rob Davison says although they aren't super rare, there are only a couple a year before disappearing for a few years.
With the weather being how it is, you can easily go many, many years without having a chance to actually see one. So any time one comes along, it's always worth trying to see it.
And in sport, Joseph Parker's camp is negotiating to fight unified world heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk following a demand from the World Boxing Organisation. The parties have 30 days to negotiate a bout. Former Australian Test cricketer Stuart McGill faces jail time for supplying drugs, but has been spared a potential life sentence over his role in a cocaine deal that led to his 2021 kidnapping. The Knights have beaten the Dolphins 26-12 to remain undefeated in league's NRL. I'm Nivareti Manu, that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at midday from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.